This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Happy Friday. Glad we made it now. Let's get into this weekend and relax, hopefully. Let it please be a relaxing weekend. And hey, this is the 75th Real Pod Newscast, The Diamond Show.
My favorite stories of the day.
And The Diamond Show has to start in my favorite news state of Florida, where we learn robbers can be pretty slippery when wet. And this was a robbery back on Monday, early just after midnight. So not a funny story, but it is pretty wild that WFTV9 News is reporting Orange County Sheriff's deputies are investigating since they say a guy in scuba gear swam up to the dock of a replica steamboat restaurant after closing time around Disney Springs in Lake Buena Vista, got out of the pond, took off his wetsuit and scuba gear, found a place to put it all, then walked into the manager's office where two workers were counting cash from the day, somehow forcing them into a corner, tying them up, taking $10,000 to $20,000 and leaving the way he came, back to the dock, shimmying back into the wetsuit, then throwing the scuba gear back on his back, jumping back into the pond, and off he swam with $10,000 to $20,000. Now, the two workers say he was in and out within 2 minutes. Nobody hurt, no weapons. They say they free themselves and called 911 to report the robbery. Now, investigators say he was already out of the pond by the time they started looking for him, so who knows if he had any trails of wet footprints or drops of water to follow for an arrest, but somebody put planning into that heist. Now, about a 2-hour drive west is where a Land O'Lakes woman told WTSP TV 10 in Tampa last week that she had her 4-month-old puppy outside for a walk along a creek behind her house. Walking a puppy near water in Florida, what could go wrong, is something that Floridian of 20 years clearly did not ask herself until she said the puppy squealed and the leash started pulling. An alligator had that little pooch, and she says it was heading into the water with dinner. So she told WTSP she started wailing on that gator, kept punching one of its eyes like Bud Crawford did Canelo Alvarez last weekend in Vegas, and it worked. The gator kind of let go enough for her to pull the pooch out of its mouth. She says the gator's teeth did drag along her arm, so that arm had a nice gash on it, but hey, she saved her puppy. And in the process, taught all of us non-Floridians a couple things. One, do not do what she did and go near water in Florida with a puppy. No, that's just offering dinner to a gator or snake. And two, gators are like boxers. They can take a punch or two, but not too many. Those quick counter punches can be frustrating if they stick and move, is what Canelo also said last Saturday. Now, last Wednesday the 10th in Billings, Montana, KRTV3 is reporting 14 workers at the Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter started smelling and seeing smoke around noon, middle of the day. KRTV says the shelter is usually closed to the public on Wednesday, so at least the public wasn't able to get a sniff, and that's also they can clean and take care of animals, the internal things, so only workers and animals inside, and they share the building with the city's incinerator. So it was not the first time they dealt with smoke, but it got so thick, workers were coughing, lightheaded, dizzy, so they hurried up and took the 50 to 70 dogs, cats, and other animals outside. The shelter's head said Billings mostly uses the incinerator to cremate animal remains, but said this was a lot of smoke and smelled more like chemicals and plastic, and just follow your nose. Always knows. That's what Fruit Loops mascot Toucan Sam used to say in commercials because, it takes chemicals to make meth. City officials later admitted cops were burning methamphetamine, since police will usually use that incinerator on Wednesdays to burn drugs they've taken. So that dizzy, lightheaded feeling among those 14 shelter workers and 50 to 70 animals, that was a small taste of being high on meth. And turns out it was the FBI. KRTV confirmed the city let the feds burn the meth. 2 kittens already with breathing issues had to get checked out. The 14 workers needed hospital care and had to double up inside the 4 hyperbaric oxygen chambers the hospital had, the local hospital. So 2 workers per chamber for 3 hours. Glad they like each other, all because the feds gave them a contact high, hot boxed them with meth, allegedly. Back in a moment, but before the break, a word from the Jams podcast.
It's the Hip Hop and R&B Journey with Greg Age.
You can get the Jams podcast mix on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and Deezer. Download the podcast for free.
Real hip hop and R&B matters. The Hip Hop and R&B Journey with Greg Age.
Take you today.
Introducing Drobot. Drobot can drive any vehicle, no matter how cheap or pricey, large or small.
Buckle up. I'm a drobot, not a lifesaver, and dead ass do not touch me or the radio.
Drobots will safely deliver everyone on board, and upgraded models can keep riders company with its cutting-edge AI-generated voice, which can hold conversations and even join a sing-along.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
And best...
And now for the world around us.
And we'll start by updating a story I ran here on Real Pod a few months ago. And for starters, that sound in the background, not a fountain at some public place. No, that is a 17-year-old standing on a restaurant table with his pants down.
They don't know.
They do now, since that 17-year-old and his 17-year-old buddy video recorded themselves peeing into a hot pot in a private room inside a Shanghai restaurant. This happened back in February, and that restaurant only found out days later because the 17-year-olds, being 17-year-olds, did not think things through to remember it is illegal and just nasty, and they posted the video online, so that Haidalao restaurant branch had to refund and pay customers who ate there for almost 2 weeks before they found out, because nobody knew which hot pot was the hot pot. And now NBC News quoted China's state-run CCTV News on a Shanghai court decision ordering the two 17-year-olds and the parents to apologize and pay 2.2 million yuan, which comes out to just over 300,000 US dollars. The restaurant chain had asked for 23 million yuan, or over 3.2 million US bucks. All of this because a couple young fools had one of the worst possible answers to, hey, you know what would be cool? And by the way, news outlets all report one of their names is Wu. The other, Tang.
I don't know how y'all see it, but when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. You know what I mean? Puffy is good, but Wu-Tang is the best. Okay? I want y'all to know that this is ODB and I love you all. Peace.
Now to Germany, where a family was recently celebrating a 16-year-old's birthday. Well, one would assume that since the 1 in 6 balloons were on the wall, and Vice News reposted their video of them all around a table where a birthday cake sat in the middle with candles lit. Here is where it may be a good time to remind all of us when out shopping for things like lotion, look closely to make sure it's not body wash. You know, those bottles sometimes look alike. And apparently so do candles and fireworks. Vice posted this video in the story they ran on this last Friday, saying the family was not sure how the candles and sparklers got mixed up at the store, but nobody hurt, except it seems their nerves were frayed. Everybody went ducking under the table and running out of the room, or trying to run. Also, a note here to retailers who sell both candles and fireworks. Man, pick a lane. Prevent the confusion. Pick a lane. Or at least keep them separate and clearly marked. Yeah, but even then, back in a moment.
Oat milk and coconut milk. And they all come from fine plants and trees, but not one of them comes from nature as nature intended. So trust nature the way nature wanted us to, and drink milk from cows, not mom. That would be gross. Cow's milk. It still does the body good.
Paid for by a made-up dairy committee.
It's not often that you'd want to lean in for a close sniff of toilet paper. But the rose-scented paper rolls from Rosie will make you want to press those nostrils up against a roll.
What's up with what's going down, though?
It's funny how yin and yang it is to drink alcohol. I mean, on one hand, doctors say it's bad for our kidneys, but doctors also say a little wine or beer is good. And one can be trashed, hung over the next day, and not remember a bit of how drunk one acted the night before. But in the moment, that cup of courage can lead one to do things like walk up to a Popeye's chicken drive-thru window and ask for a Baconator.
I'm sorry for being in your way, but I just want the order that I came here with a whole mess. This is the whole mess.
A Baconator?
A Baconator.
What? How you got here?
This guy in Florida posted this video on Reddit and was in his car waiting at the drive-thru window when she walked up saying she ordered a Baconator and did not get it. And she would be right about that because Popeyes does not have Baconators. Wendy's does. So seeing this play out, the guy did what people do nowadays, whipped out his cell phone to record all of her yang while Popeyes workers call the yin cops. And one pulled up, came over, led her away. No telling if he took her to a Wendy's, gave her a ticket or what. But the point is, if somebody is pointing their phone at you and recording in public, just stop asking for Baconators and go home. Let's all, by the way, commit that to sober memory so it'll stick when we're blitzed. And I said I'm in there too.
And now for a moment of calmness.
Mosquito bites, an itching rash from the plant you thought was a fern. Snake, a grass snake, but a snake. Pollen, which Charlie Murphy reminded us is only a plant's form of sperm.
Thank you for this moment of calmness.
Yeah, thanks for this rash.
Brought to you by
your mama.
ASMR.
Smoky, smoky gumbo. What my name is. Smoky, smoky gumbo. I think I will open that whip. I do know a sailor who gets discharged from the Navy, leaves buddies behind.
Is no restart.
And that's it for another Real Pod Newscast. Thanks so much for listening. And please like and follow the show now on Instagram, TikTok, X, or Twitter, along with Facebook. And the website's about to look a whole lot better with all the shows, clips, and more visual additions to this audio package. Can't wait to roll that out. For now, have a great weekend. Back on Tuesday.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
I just want my Baconator meal, girl. I just want my Baconator meal. That's all I care about.
What are you doing?
Baconator meal.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Show enough.